and welcome to my interviews with trailblazers. Now, I have known Henry for more than 30 years, and I've seen his growth from the entry level job that he used to have to becoming a managing director of a company, which he still works with. And, in my corporate career, I've come across many people and I've been in touch with them. And sometimes I come across people who are shining examples for other people to follow because they have all the qualities that make them successful in life. All right. So, Henry, what I'd like you to do for our viewers is to tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey, your successes, your failures, because everything, makes you learn something and others can learn from you. So, over to you, Henry.
Good evening, Deepak. Thank you so much for this privilege of being able to give this interview with you. I think when it comes to saying something about myself, it's not much I can say, but yes, started off my journey after schooling. I joined the hotel line, and I was with the Taj and with another hotel called the Ambassador. And I had an opportunity to come to Delhi, and there I was introduced to Team Computers, which is a company today that is more than 4,000 CR company, and with a lot of diversification. But what I should say is that I started off there as an engineer. Worked on the Apple platform for quite some time, for about 4 or 5 years. And then I was seen worthy of going to Bombay to start off their Western region operations. With the help of a lot of colleagues who were there, was able to interview and get people to join locally from Mumbai. That was the first thing, which was the growth.
Yeah, so I have a question for you, Henry. So, like you said, you started as an engineer, and I remember you from the good old days that you didn't know the ABC of computers, and I've
That's
seen
right.
that within maybe 2 or 3 months you were teaching other people. Okay, now there is something that you bring, and that is the reason why you were chosen for important assignments. Okay. So what I'd like to hear is the human side of it. I mean, obviously your accomplishments are known and you may definitely talk about it. But something that you have as your qualities, okay? Also, you've been through tough, difficult times. Okay. I mean, it's not easy to start and achieve so much in the face of tough competition that is there today. Yeah. So would you
Yes.
hear about that? That what is there in you that made you successful, noticed, and given important assignments?
I think most of the qualities that I have today has come from mainly my father. My father, who has been somebody who has, I mean, he was my first teacher, maybe not just only as far as my academics are concerned, but even when it came to learning many other skills, which today I don't know. I don't know how many kids have that privilege, including mine. I'm talking about, wherein which every little errand or every little job in the house was done by ourselves. For example, like maybe fixing a electric bulb to, fixing a tap, or fixing a leakage, or anything to do with carpentry. So dad, because he was from the army and had an army background, yes, discipline was always the first thing in the house. And the most important thing was that he always forced us to learn certain things which will be, life, will help us in our life as we went on. And there were times where I used to crib and say, I mean, the kids are playing and I'm sitting here and, doing something which is very mechanical. So that was one thing. And the quality, what I noticed is that, I don't know, maybe it is in my genes that whatever I've done, I've always done it for myself, which means that I've loved whatever I've done. I've done it with a lot of love and respect, and with the what shall I say, enthusiasm that whatever I do has to be, good, has to be the best. And that is one thing which I've always applied in everything, not only in my personal life, in my professional life, in my relationships with people, because when you genuinely come across, to people, it's only then that you will be able to build that trust and relationship. And that was one of the qualities that I think I've inherited from my parents and my father especially. That's one of the qualities I think that has brought me so far, and I'm really grateful for that.
Okay. See,
So
there is obviously more than that, because in 2004 you were elected. I mean, that's a very interesting thing that happened. You were elected as the managing director of Team Computers for
yes,
almost 2 years. Yeah. And
yes,
then they
yes,
handed over another of their group companies for you to be the director of.
yes, yes,
So obviously there are skills like managerial skills or other things which obviously are not inherent.
yeah.
So
Uh,
how did you?
okay. One of the most interesting things, I think, maybe it's I don't know how to put it across, but when you talk about, being in the right place at the right time is not something that everyone get in the first place. Second is that maybe all the good karma, or what we call today, or the good deeds that our parents did, our grandparents did, or heritage, that has always come across and kept me in places where I've always had great teachers. To begin with, when I was out of school, I had one of my cousin, his name was Babu, who took me into the printing line, into where I learned about offset printing. I worked on Heidelberg machines. I worked on German machines, which are automatic letterpress machines. This all I did, during the uh, holidays where we work for when we wait for our results to come, our exam results to come. So he never let me, stay idle. He said, "You come with me." So I was never, and I never. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's in my, like I said, in my gene that I've never shirked work, because it always kept me, like I was very enthusiastic to do things. So I'm more a doer kind of a person. So that was one reason why I would say that uh, it has helped me to be where I am, and people have seen that quality in me. And I've never seen levels. Position has never always held me in a place. I've never considered designation, as something where I can sit and get things done. I always got down to the floor, put my hands to it. And if somebody did know how to do it, show him how to do it, get him to see. And one more thing is, I always wanted things to run on its own. When I get everyone to know what I can do and they can do, then it becomes easier for me to do other things. So that was also one of the things. And the most, like I said, teachers in my journey that came. One was the second, when I came to Delhi, another brother of mine was a very, very strong change. It was a turning point actually for me, where I got an exposure to books which I never had. Like I've read Werner's books, Persist Until You Succeed. Now that book was a life-changing book which I read. It kind of pushed me. Then there are books like, The Road Less Traveled, another book that inspired me and taught me a lot of things. And there were so many books which I used to go through in the travel of in my daily routine between Noida and Delhi, because that time there was no transportation which was so good. So I had to sit in the bus for an hour and a half at times. So reading was one of the things that taught me so much. And I think a lot of learning during that period I was there. And then Landmark Forum, then various other trainings which came from my own organization, that was you know, you could say seen as a plus point. And all these things really transformed me to what I am. And from a person who would not want to stand and talk, today I'm able to even stand and address a crowd of, whatever crowd is in front of me. And those fears and all have gone is only because of the kind of exposure that I've been put to. And yes, it has been tough in a lot of times. Ups and downs are there, especially when I moved to Mumbai for the new place. It was something that, you have a problem with even the local language. Marathi was there, but of course, Hindi is always there. And a lot of things. Then we moved to a lot of other cities also, which was a very strong, what shall I say, uh, was tough when sometimes Pune was not easy, or for that matter, Gujarat also was not easy. But I think these qualities were which helped me in terms of being able to build trust in people, and that was one of the reasons I was able to do whatever I can and get to this place.
So if I may summarize some of the points that you made, one is that you are a hands-on manager,
Yes,
right? And you are good at training people so that they take things on and do it on themselves, by themselves,
right.
right? Uh, you seem to be having very good people skills also. People trust you, people
Yes,
depend upon you, okay? And moving to all these cities, I think, and you have the adaptability. I remember that when you came from Chennai, you didn't know Hindi. So you're
yes,
not a native Hindi speaker,
that's
right?
right.
And I've seen you develop that. So a lot of, I think, adaptability, and you learn things pretty quick. Isn't that right?
Yeah, in fact, I go through that debate. In fact, I also had an opportunity to learn Russian. I had gone to Russia for a 10-day break, and happened to find a CD there, and then I took it out and I created a kind of what shall I say, uh, a directory by which I could read the Russian in English. So that was something which was very interesting. I did, and then after that, I even went right up to Leningrad in the metro rail. So those things, yes, I would say that. Like I said, learning things has always been something which I'm passionate about. Learning new things, going to new places. Even as a kid, when we used to travel from Madras to Calicut, which was where my mom was from, it used to be so exciting. That 1 week for Christmas and New Year, and then we'd be with the whole family there, enjoy it, and come back. So getting on a train was exciting. Getting on a flight for the first time was exciting. I remember the first flight I took in my life was to Calcutta, when we went there and had some work. And we were very good at the Apple and Macintosh repairs. So everywhere we had to go. Laser printers was also one of our key strengths, and we did that. And but I think the good part is the leadership I had was, very motivating, and I would say always looked ahead, and had long term goals. So that pushed me, from being just an engineer to a team leader to a regional head, and then after that, heading the company also. But like I said, not everyone are cut out to do everything. So until and otherwise, uh, you don't have the right support system. So it is only your people who you build up, the strong people. Like when I was in Bombay, it took me almost it took me 2 years for me to find a successor before I moved back to Delhi, and that learning came from reading books like Jack Welch's book about GE, how he found a successor and so on. It has been that kind of a trip, and so these are some of the things which I would say that has kept me where I am and brought me so far.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that, here is a ordinary man who has done extraordinary things. Like a lot of people, they became an engineer in a good company and they would have stayed an engineer all their life. You notice that you didn't do that. And you've
No.
been steadily going up the ladder, not because of, like there are traditional things that people do, showing off and,
True, true,
gift of the gab and all that stuff, which you don't do. I mean, you don't show off. In fact, you always
true.
underplay yourself, isn't it? So what
I,
I'm trying to say is that, being the kind of person you are, and with some qualities that obviously are coming out as you speak, what would be what would you say to those people? There are a lot of people in this world, they stay the same, they stay in the same place, they don't move, they don't seem to show ambition, or they say that they have an ambition, but they don't do anything in life, right? Or youngsters who are in a career and they are expecting that now 2 years have passed and I should get a promotion, right?
hmm.
Without doing anything. So, what advice would you give to people who are starting a profession? What advice would you give to a youngster?
uh, that I mean, my time and this time, I think, is about more than 2 or 3 decades. So
Correct.
I can't advise them what I did. But today's kids are, much, much more, you could say, smart. They have uh, quite a lot of opportunities. The way the market has changed, the way global things have changed. Uh, you what I've seen is that you need the right kind of spirit of going and achieving things. Uh, Firstly, I would say you have to believe in something. You have to believe in whatever you aspire for. You have to first believe in God. I mean, I wouldn't say that in terms of it's each one's own prerogative about what they believe in, but for me, I think my spiritual life has also been a very, very strong uh, motivator. It has not just been a motivator; it has also been a kind of a fortress. When you're in trouble, you have to run to. So I've always kept my spiritual life also intact when it comes to being a part of the church, being a part of giving back to the society, or things like that, which is something that we have learned from our kids from young as children,
Your childhood.
and yeah, from childhood. And that is also one more thing that has helped me to be here. But today's children, I would say, firstly, is that they have to believe in themselves, and they have to, what shall I say, be committed to whatever they take up. They have to be patient. They've got to, learn how to be more tolerant with certain things, because today there's a lot of turbulence also when you look at things. We start off with relationships itself within uh, families. Relationships makes a very, very big, uh, you could say, impact on what you will become later on. Like, for example, if I did not have a cooperative wife who could have supported me throughout this journey, I don't know whether I would have been here. If I did not have a great boss that would have pushed me to where I wanted to be or where I should be, this would not have happened. So these people are all like, angels in your life who actually contribute to your growth. So today's kids, I think, uh, they have to start thinking in that way in terms of what is see like I have two daughters, and each I've never forced them to do something what I wanted them to do. I've always asked them, what you want to do. One has decided to become a chef, and I said, okay, fine. So I've only supported them, not that. And I let me tell you, I do it for everybody. Even when I'm with my colleagues and I find somebody not performing, I try to find out why are they not performing? What is the reason? Is it personal? Is it something to do with parents? Is it something to do with the family? So I think these are the things, qualities that will help them to find their path and be able to, get to whatever success they want. At the same time, I think being grounded, being humble, being grateful, and seeking maybe wisdom from God is also very important. And these things, I think, are the qualities. Because today children are pretty short-strung. I mean, if they don't get it, they say, okay, chuck it, let's go to the next. So that's also becoming a, even in relationships. So it's not working, chuck it, let's move on. So, but somewhere down the line, you later on realize that, you have to cherish certain things to be able to get where you want to get. And there will be difficulty, but I think uh, taking out time and spending time in meditation or silence or prayer or whatever you want to say is also one way of being able to overcome certain problems in life. And today's kids, I think they have a great future with the way the Indian economy is going on and whatever growth is happening. I think we have all the talent, not only in India, in fact, in all global countries, most of the people are all Indians who are sitting there, who are doing things. It's only because of that intellectual value that we have. And like you said, it's a choice whether you want to be there and doing the same thing or you want to grow. There are, to even in my organization, I know people who did not want to grow, who did not want to take up more responsibility. Although a boss pushed us and they said, नहीं 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 sir, मैं तो technical हूँ, मैं technically करूँगा, मैं मतलब मैनेजर वाला काम नहीं करूँगा, मैं स्पेशलिस्ट बनूंगा. But specialist, how far is it going to take you? You're not in, Bell Labs to be able to become some inventor or find out some discovery. You're working for an organization. So these things, I think, will definitely make the difference in today's world, if you ask me.
So what do you think, Henry? What makes people stay stuck in that place? They see others from their colleagues rising and doing well in life. Okay. What do you think? What are the normal reasons that people give you as to why they don't? I believe everybody wants to grow, but some people don't believe that they can grow.
No, by and large, every human being wants to go from left to right, in the opposite direction, diagonally up. There is no human being who doesn't want to. But then there's one thing which is called desire. And there's one thing which is called whether you deserve it. So on the most important thing is this is people just desire and they don't put efforts to get there. And they expect that it will come on its own, or sometimes they expect others to do it for them. And I've always shared, I mean, most of my interviews I have with today's children is not from a point that I'm an interviewer or I'm a HR person or I'm some kind of a recruiter or something. I've always had it like, okay, if this kid was my kid, how would I talk to that kid? Because if you have care and concern and compassion for somebody, then you'll really want to know why that kid is that way or why that person is that way. So the genuineness about finding out this and then being able to maybe give advice or guidance is also important. And today's mostly people get comfortable. They're not unreasonable with themselves. You've got to be unreasonable with yourself. If you're not unreasonable with yourself, you will find reasons for everything. So that's one thing I think children should learn, to get uncomfortable. Like I always, there are guys who come for interview. Why did you leave the earlier job? Sir, comfortable nahi tha. I said, are you working for comfort? How old are you? Sir, I'm 23. Are 23 mein you're looking for comfort? I said, look for discomfort. Huh? I said, you can't be looking for comfort now. I said, go and seek discomfort. Wherever it's not comfortable, there only you will grow. If you look for comfort, you will just lie there like a living pillow. Nothing else. Why comfort? A pillow jaisa let down. So I think the children today have to, go beyond themselves and start challenging their own capabilities. Some are not confident, but I think they need good mentors, good. I think leaders make a big difference in this place. Good leaders, I would say, and not people who just want to prove themselves or always want to, stay on top and let the others be down. That's the wrong leadership. I would always say that if I was recruiting somebody, I'll always see if that guy is better than me. Then I recruit him so that he can do better things than what I have done.
Beautiful.
So that's the quality that today's leadership needs. And children also, I've seen some kids who are very bold today and who have come out and spoken and have been, really vocal about what they want to do. And it's sometimes very nice to hear that and also see. And then after that, when they get into action, you really get to know, okay, are they walking the talk, or was it just a talk kind of a
Impress.
thing? Yes.
Okay, so
So
talking about leadership, what do you think? Some of the qualities that you've seen good leaders have, and some of the bad things that the leaders have.
okay, start with the good things is a leader is unstoppable. A good leader is unstoppable. He will always look for a solution. What is the solution? Don't talk about the problem. What's the solution? So good leaders have to look for solutions in all fields. I mean, very like for me, it has been like, I was too young in hospitality, but when I came to this industry, to IT, started working everywhere, it was always challenges because there were times where we were told to catch a train at, uh, and in 2 hours we have to leave. Like you have to go to Jammu. There's a breakdown there. You have to go and fix that computer or printer or whatever it is. And how are you traveling? You're just traveling with what do you call that? Unreserved. So you've just given a ticket. You have to find the way, go there, fix the problem, and come back. So there were a lot of today. One day, kids are oh, what will I get a pickup? And there are a lot of things which have come in. But like I said, good leadership pushes you into a lot of uncomfortable scenarios and also supports you to perform. That's very important, and not just not abdicate things, but properly delegate and mentor things. So that's one good thing. Second thing is good leadership would always, uh, what shall I say, monitor and verify. Keep having a check on the person. Is the person doing okay? Not is there any problem? Not just only professionally, but also try to find out on the personal front how is that person doing, because most of our professional successes depend on how our personal front is. Very few people have that capability of being able to handle both very tactfully, however turbulent it may be. But some people definitely need support. They need emotional support. They need support which is, hey, don't worry, we are there, go ahead, and we are there to take care, don't worry. So that kind of support is required. So a good leader would always provide that kind of a support. And most important is, a good leader will make his team feel that he is always there behind them. He can, they can fall back on him, and he's always standing there. So you don't have to worry, whatever may come, and I can rely on this leader. So those are some of the good qualities. Uh, Qualities I feel some leaders should improve today, which I find lacking in quite some leaders, is listening. Listening is a major problem. I mean, I've learned to listen uh, from uh, from some very great people who I've had the privilege of being associated with. There was a Dr. N.R. Jain, who was a specialist in HR, and he was specializing in child psychology. And I remember once going to his home, and he's talking to his grandson, a 5-year-old, and grandson, 5-year-old, how would he behave? So he's calling him and telling him, "Hey, okay, come here. I'm not telling you to do what I'm telling you. I'm only telling you to just listen to me. You have 2 ears and one mouth. So God has given you 2 ears, so listen. I'm not telling you to obey. I'm only telling you to listen." So that was a big mind opener for me. That small incident, he let us listen. And later on, when I did the forum and all, listening from nothingness, listening from a blank background, listening to people with an open heart, so that you can actually make them feel that you're listening to them, not just some plastic listening. And when you listen to people, they will also listen to you. And I think that is one quality which today's leadership needs. And hearing people out, and not just only, passing uh, your own judgment. Today, a lot of people have become very judgmental. They feel that only they are right, others are all wrong. And then I've also had the privilege of reading some books like the Celestine Prophecy, in which they talk about a Pygmalion effect. And all that is all, I think so, I don't know, like I said, God sends angels. So you have people in your life who enable you to get all this experience. And these are all been major, uh, you could say, achievements for me. And I would always say that today's leadership needs more teachers. I think sometime back, years back, when we had gone to uh, Manali, it was a year for the Dalai Lama, and they were asking the Dalai Lama, what is India lack? This India lacks teachers, good teachers, which means even leaders are teachers in any organization. And if they can't listen to what their people are saying, it's not, when you listen to people, it's not that you're accepting what they say. It is just listening. It's being able to listen, completely with an empty mind. And then after that, when you talk to them, you process what they say and be able to, speak to them, they will also listen to you. And you will notice that that is when you will bring in the transformation in whatever they want to do. So good leaders need to, I think that's one of the main things. Other than that is, uh, I think leaders have to be genuine. When you're a leader, you have to take responsibility for your people. Not only your people, maybe everyone associated with them also. So then they start having that respect and regard for you. And I think those relationships last for a lifetime. And I'm very proud to say that, even today, when I go to Bombay, my whole old teams, they'll immediately say, let's sit together, get together. So that those are all, I would say, gifts that one gets back for being a good leader.
As like they say, as you give, so shall you receive.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so Henry, thank you very much for what you have said so far. Very, very useful insight into who you are as a person. Now, I think in a year's time, you're going to step into the 60s and become a senior citizen. All
That's
right.
true.
So, what are your plans for the future? I mean, if you were to suppose you had a bucket list, I'm sure you've
Yeah.
completed many things on that list. So, what remains?
See, as a person, firstly, whether I'm 59 or 60 doesn't make a difference to me. And I've always never let age kind of stop me from doing a lot of things. I've kind of put myself to a lot of tasks which maybe today sometimes people are, "Arey yaar, how is this getting?" Like even today when we do our cycling trips, I go for the cycling trips. We take people on cycling tours in Goa. So it's because I look after a resort now, and so we do that. Then we did some crazy things like doing mud baths and you know finding new experiences for people. So these things don't stop me, and when it comes to that. But in terms of new things which I want to do, I'd always say that I want to be a source of uh, being able to do something for others, because I think I don't want anything anymore, nothing in life. I think God has given everything that I want. I've got a beautiful family. I've got two lovely daughters. God willing, they will now get into their workforce, and all I do is only just mentor them and tell them, how to live their life, and not just about materialistic things, but so many other things in life. And it's been a great journey so far. And going forward, also, I believe that God will open some doors. And there will be, I will always be a person who would want to do things and show people that, okay, this is how it is done. And through that, people learn, and they can also learn what they want to do. Because even today, even in the hotel, I don't, although I was designated as the GM there, I've never sat and worked as a GM. Even if it's to go to the floor area and work with the people, or talk to the housekeeping, the public area, I'd go to the gardener. It doesn't make a difference to me. And if I had to show them what to do, how to do, because a lot of times today, people, when it comes to work, they are looking at time. Okay, 8 hours of work. So that's not the way we have worked. So to be able to pass on that thinking, or that way of working, and because success won't come, you have to work hard. Only then success will come, and you have to work sincerely. Only then success will come.
Well, you're
Otherwise, like,
very passionate. I know that you're very passionate about your music, and
yes,
you're quite a performer also now. I think you and your MD participate and are a part of a band. So what's your
yeah.
opinion about that?
I think that was another lovely part of my life. And I think I am blessed, like I said, angels in life. So he was also one of the reasons why I actually started learning guitar when I left Madras and came to Delhi, and that took a backseat. But when I seen that my boss picked up a saxophone and said, "Yeah, let's learn." So like that's what I said. So motivation comes even from that. I said, when he who's a little older than me can do that, why can't I? So I picked up a guitar, and then he said, "Okay, let's get into a class." And we did a 3 month course on music with a specialist who was a teacher, another great teacher in music. And then we created a band, and we played, and we did performances in some places. For the company, we did some shows together. So these are certain things which have. Of course, music for me has not been new, because my grandparents were also instrumental in that. My grandfather was a musician and military band, the director of the military band. So my mom used to sing, and so all that is in the blood. But most important was that in my church life, I was a very keen. I was a part of the choir. I used to sing tenor there and play music there, and then became the chairman for the music committee. For many years, I was handling that. So these are all like responsibilities you take up, and which actually makes you into a better person, and you're able to also contribute to others. You're able to contribute to society, and I think these are the things that make a difference. And so I will continue to want to be in that position where I can always be of use. I could be a source of learning to people, and to be able to contribute to the people around me.
You always find time to do that, despite
Yeah,
your
yeah,
schedule.
yeah.
All
That
right.
that has been my passion.
Good, great. Thank you very much for being with us today, and I wish you all the very best, and may God bless you and give you everything that you desire, and keep inspiring people, and keep
Thank you.
being the example of what a person should be and can be. So thank you very much, and all the best. Bye bye.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you.
All right.